Hello everyone, Ashley here. Welcome to Ashley Talks Movies and welcome to my review of Spirited. The film, which stars Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, is a modern take on Charles Dickens' classic holiday story, A Christmas Carol, and centers around a team of Christmas spirits who select one Scrooge-like person to reform. However, their next target, a PR consultant named Clint Briggs, proves to be a challenge for the spirits, especially the Ghost of Christmas Present. Now, before I get into the review, a few things. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Also, hit that notification button so you don't miss any of the videos that I'm posting. Okay, time for the review. Spirited is a mildly entertaining, sometimes amusing approach to A Christmas Carol. The film is filled with meta humor and splashy Broadway-style musical numbers, and for the most part, the premise works. So basically, in this version of the story, the Ghost of Christmas Present, Past, and Future, as well as Jacob Marley and other characters like that, are part of this bigger organization that selects a Scrooge-like figure every year to reform or redeem. And every year they spend time gathering research and information about that person so that when the ghosts get ready to haunt them, they have something to work with. And so they're able to create these really elaborate dreamlike sequences during the haunts, right? It's like a big production. And so their next target, Clint Briggs, played by Ryan Reynolds, proves to be quite the challenge. He is, this smug PR consultant type guy who has made a living off of spreading misinformation, and he doesn't seem too bothered by it. And the team has deemed him an unredeemable. But the Ghost of Christmas Present, played by Will Ferrell, is like, no, we can take him on. We can redeem him. I believe that we can redeem him. And he's very adamant about that. Now, Spirited has a lot going for it. One, it has an amazing cast. It has Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds is in this movie. Also, Octavia Spencer is in this movie. And Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds really play off each other really well. And, Will Ferrell does a thing he's done a lot in some of his other comedies where he's playing an adult, but it's an adult character that has this sort of childlike wonder to him. And he is the Ghost of Christmas Present, and he is trying so hard to redeem Ryan Reynolds' character. And then you have Ryan Reynolds, who is just great at playing this type of character, a character who is supposed to be charming and charismatic, but also really smug and kind of a jerk. And so when the two interact with each other, you have some really funny moments. And there's also some really heartfelt moments too. And again, those two, when they're interacting with each other, just do an amazing job. Octavia Spencer is great. I will say she is very underutilized in this movie. If you're familiar with A Christmas Carol, she's basically playing sort of the Bob Cratchit type character in this film. And just, they could have done more with her because she's such a fantastic actress. And there's a relationship between her character and another character that I personally didn't think really worked. I didn't really see the chemistry there. But others might disagree with me. What I will say this film also has going for it is that it takes a different approach to this story. There's been so many different adaptations and versions of A Christmas Carol over the years, whether it's film or TV or whatever case may be. And at least here, this story goes in a completely different direction in a way that is not as predictable as other versions of this type of story. This film is also a musical, as I've mentioned before, so there are these Broadway-style musical numbers. The choreography is great. Those musical numbers are big and splashy, and they've got a lot of color. They definitely feel like they were supposed to be performed on a stage. That's at least how those musical numbers seem to have been constructed. But the songs themselves, for the most part, are pretty forgettable. There's one particular song that I couldn't hum it for you, but it stood out to me. And that one was really nice. Just the whole sequence and the song and everything that was set up there was great. But the rest of the songs were just okay, which is kind of a shame because I honestly found myself enjoying the movie more when people weren't singing and dancing. And I think it was just because those musical numbers, for the most part, were not memorable. Now, Spirited is definitely not without its flaws. I think one of the biggest problems with this movie is that it is way too long. It's way too long for this type of story. It's way too long for this type of premise. Also, this is a musical comedy, and there are a lot of jokes, a lot of humor in this movie, and some of it works, some of it lands. I think where the film falters is when it starts to rely too heavily on those self-referential jokes, and there's a lot of them. There's some parts in this movie where they literally just have so many of those types of jokes, and it really bogs down the scenes. It really slows down the story. And so if they had trimmed the film a little bit and cut back and held back on some of those meta jokes, this would have been a much better film. Despite its flaws, Spirited is entertaining. It's amusing at times. It has some really heartfelt moments, some really funny moments, and it has a great cast. Everybody seems to be having a blast, and they all give really good performances. So Spirited is actually going to be released on Apple TV Plus on November 18th. So if you get a chance to watch the film, come back and share your thoughts about it in the comment section below. While you're here, like this video, hit the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this.